let's talk about this garden here for a minute. So we are now in January 2024, and obviously January, everything is dead in zone 6B. I mean, come on. This morning, or a little bit earlier anyway, it was freezing right at 32 degrees, and now it is 39. I think we're supposed to hit up into like the mid 40s today. Don't quote me on that. I still apparently am growing a chair. So last year, this garden was null and void, honestly. I wanted nothing to do with it. It was hot. 2023 was a weird year for a lot of people, and there were a lot of people who were happy to see it go. There were a lot of people who hated it all along. A lot of my friends and family had a lot of challenging times. I can't just flat out say anything stands out good or bad about 2023. We did get to go to Hawaii on vacation, but my husband also was laid off from his job at the end of the year. So, we had some win some, lose some type things. This garden was planted to garlic. This was tomatoes. This was peppers. This was tomatoes. And this was peppers. And then this bed and this bed were both planted to potatoes, which I never did anything with. Like, nothing. I didn't harvest them. I didn't eat them. I didn't take them to the chickens. I didn't do anything with them. This bed, I believe, had a couple of tomatoes as well as some herbs. But again, not much was done with it for whatever reason. And as you can see, we have a lot of dead ground cover. I did come in here and I tried to mulch this puppy. Now, let me put a little backstory on this. This garden was dug in 2020 when the world shut down and nobody knew what to do with themselves. I didn't get to have one prior to that because we bought this house in fall of 2018. All of 2019 was put into the remodeling of our house. And while we're not done, as you could see from all of our videos this last year, all of 2019 was put to remodeling our house. And so my husband and I just decided I didn't have time to garden. I'd had a garden in 2017 at our old house, and then I tried one at our even older house that we lived in, and really didn't have any luck there either. So that has been my experience. No luck. Anyway, in 2020, I started this garden from scratch, right at basically time to plant everything. And then when I decided that wasn't enough, I started over there also. That got taken over by hay bales this last spring. And as you can see, we have very few hay bales left. That's another story for another day because we've been in a drought for 2 years. So in 2021, I actually came in and I made all of my raised beds. My raised beds are made out of the landscaping timbers. They are only, if I remember right, they're only 2 high. I kind of think we've talked about redoing this whole bed, and if I do, I'm going to, right now they are 2x16 beds. I think I want to make them 4x8s and then put a walkway between the 8-foot beds. But again, we haven't really decided what we're going to do. So when I came in and I put down the landscaping timbers, I also put in the mesh, that fabric stuff, landscaping fabric that's supposed to keep the weeds away. That was laid between all of the beds, and then we put mulch on it. And I'm here to tell you that in 2021 I had weeds like crazy. Again, in 2022 I came in and I re-mulched this whole thing. I did not put any more landscaping fabric down. I just put more mulch down on top of what was already here. And again, I had weeds like crazy. Then I came in last year and proceeded to put down more mulch. And I actually put down, at one point in 2022, I did go ahead and when I mulched, because I think I mulched it twice actually, I did put down, started with paper feed sacks, just so my dad had somewhere to go with them. And then it rounded out to being like butcher paper. I put rows of butcher paper down and then put the mulch down on top of that. That way it would go back into the ground really well, but it would help the mulch. Little did I know that wasn't going to happen. So now we have landscaping fabric, and then we have the paper, and we have like 3 years of mulch down on it. And look at the weeds. Now some of these weeds obviously are in the beds, and that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. And it's just kind of frustrating. Weeds are getting the better of me. But when I came in here in 2023, and I didn't do a very good job because I got tired and I got frustrated and I quit almost immediately. But when I came in 2023, I put down feed sacks yet again. I also put down cardboard. Like, we had a whole bunch of Amazon boxes come in and they were sitting in my house. And so I tore off all the labels. We also we had to buy a new dishwasher. We had to buy a new, I don't remember what all. I had appliance boxes. Basically, I landscaped from here that way. And when I put the mulch down, I also added in the boxes. Again, trying to weed control. And it hasn't helped yet. And I'm just so over weeds, I can't stand myself. Then this fall, we came in and we started putting chicken wire and fence posts around here. Not because I have trouble with animals, but because I wanted to put my chickens out here and let them kind of eat down the weeds. It would help feed them, give them something to do. They could fertilize my garden while we were at it, yada, yada, yada. All those things that chickens do. And I ran out of wire. So I have 2 sides done and 2 sides not. And so the goal for sure is to go ahead. I found some more chicken wire and we're going to finish this out. And then early spring, which, yes, we're in early spring, you could say, but technically we're in winter because winter just started December 20th or 21st. Anyway, we're going to bring the chickens in and we're going to let them do their thing. Now, I don't really want the monstrosity of the fence up around my garden all year long, so I don't want the hassle of putting it up and taking it down and putting it up and taking it down. So the monstrosity just may stay. I haven't decided yet again. If anybody has any ideas or suggestions, hey, why don't you share them with me? I did come in with a weed eater, and I weed eated, all of this, and yet the weeds still grew back. And obviously you can kind of tell where I got to. My tomato plants never really did much. My pepper plants never did much. In fact, if you look, here is a pepper plant that still has peppers on it. I mean, they're not any good. I don't know, but hey, whatever. Yeah, they put on peppers, but things just didn't work out. This is actually a, what do they call it? A fabric. It's like a smart pot, like that black one right there. Just a fabric pot. This was nothing. It might have had not tomatoes, but no, it did. It had a tomato. That had a tomato. That was planted to onions, but as you can see, all of the soil is so compacted that an onion wouldn't grow in there anyway. And hey, we're growing weeds. This was all planted to strawberries. Did absolutely nothing but grow weeds. Like, all I did was grow weeds. You want to grow weeds, man, I'm your gal. So anyway, the more weeds I had, the hotter it was, the more frustrated I got. And I just couldn't make men's of anything. I couldn't make anything work. I have all this lighting, and the sun deteriorated it, so therefore it's all falling apart. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm going to come in and I am going to pull all these beds up and try again. Maybe I'll just turn this back into yard and we will commence. I don't know what to do, and I don't know what I want to do. I still want to grow a garden. For Christmas, I got a gift certificate to use on gardening stuff, and I went ahead and I bought a green stalk, which is that 5-tiered pot that goes around and it self-waters itself. And at least I'm going to put that up on the back patio, because you can put a small cucumber, you can put a small tomato, maybe. You can put all your herbs. All my herbs are going in that kind of thing. And I did buy the wheels so we can move it around a little easier. And then I went to In My Gardener and I bought a whole bunch of seed packets, because again, I'm not done. I just don't know the answer to anything because nothing is working and I lose everything to weeds. I did not set up my automatic waterer this year like I was supposed to, so that was part of the problem with all the heat, because again, we were in a drought. So that is voluntary. Well, I had fennel, which I think is actually coming back right there, and this was mustards or collards planted in here, and I think they're just coming back just because. So many leaves. And then this looks like parsley, honestly. I don't even see a tag that tells me what it could be, but it kind of looks like parsley. I am under this tree, and while this tree gives shade, especially in the hot summer, it drops all these acorns. So I have trees growing in my garden. Like, I don't know what to do. And I had to give my other garden, I didn't have to, but I gave my other garden up to the hay bales because we needed somewhere to store hay bales. So it's over there. But I do have a water hydrant. The only problem that I would have if I decided to go ahead and just move everything potentially over here, the only problem that I would have, honestly, is all the hayseed that has been dumped from all the hay bales being stored here, because we had quite the hay storage dump. So here is my January 2024 garden talk, because I just don't know what to do. I have not trimmed back my mums yet. That is going to happen, but you don't do that until it gets a little bit warmer. Probably around mid-March, just before it starts warming up, although we're in El Nino, which I thought El Nino was supposed to bring cooler weather and a lot more moisture, but apparently I was wrong. And we just went from La Nina, which we were in a drought for 2 years, so I guess neither one of them is favorable for us. I don't know. So the sun is out and it's very bright, but yet the sun isn't quite out because there's a little bit of overcast, and so it's making it kind of hard to see. Last year was challenging. Basically, dust yourself off, pull up your pants, and try again. That's what we're going to do. Hopefully this year is better, and that takes some effort on my part. And again, it's very easy to get frustrated when all you see is weeds, and when you spend all your time pulling weeds and you reap no benefits. So I don't know exactly how we're going to handle the garden this year, if we're going to move it, if we're going to pull it up and try again. We've talked about so many different things. So I will keep you updated if and when I know something. And Happy New Year.